Port Charles on the precipice. Blackmail, betrayal, and a baby in peril on General Hospital. The idyllic facade of Port Charles, a town perpetually balanced on the knife's edge between passionate romance and devastating tragedy, is beginning to crack. Beneath the surface of seemingly normal lives, a web of dark secrets, manipulative power plays, and heart-wrenching emotional turmoil is tightening, threatening to ensnare heroes and villains alike. Recent spoilers and shocking developments have set the stage for a dramatic summer, painting a grim picture where danger lurks not just in shadowy alleyways, but in the sterile, brightly lit corridors of General Hospital itself. At the heart of this brewing storm is an innocent, baby Daisy Gilmore Corinthos. A mysterious threat to the town's newest and most vulnerable resident has cast a long, ominous shadow over the hospital nursery, triggering a cascade of fear and suspicion. This single, unsettling event has become the catalyst for a much larger series of crises. A powerful man's hero complex has morphed into a chilling campaign of blackmail, holding the fates of two formidable women in his grasp. A mother, already scarred by unimaginable loss, teeters on the brink of a fragile mental state, her actions shrouded in ambiguity. Loyalties are being tested, old wounds are being ripped open, and the sins of the past are rising to demand a terrible price in the present. This article will delve deep into the intricate spoilers and explosive twists unfolding in Port Charles, exploring the profound emotional undercurrents, the complex character motivations, and the potentially catastrophic consequences that have the General Hospital faithful holding their collective breath, waiting for the inevitable implosion. Part 1. A shadow over the cradle. The threat to baby Daisy. The sanctity of the General Hospital nursery, a place meant to symbolize hope and new beginnings, has been violated. What was initially dismissed as a simple, albeit alarming, mix-up, baby Daisy being placed in the wrong bassinet, is now being viewed through a much more sinister lens. The chilling preview of a shadowy, unidentified figure hovering over the infant's crib suggests this was no accident. It was a deliberate, calculated act, an opening move in a terrifying game whose rules and players remain dangerously obscure. The incident has sent shockwaves through the hospital staff and, more importantly, through the powerful Corinthos family, putting everyone on high alert to protect the clan's tiniest member. Speculation is running rampant, and the most heartbreaking theory points to a beloved figure, Willow Tate. Still reeling from her own emotional and physical trials, Willow's psyche is a fragile tapestry. The video strongly hints that her profound grief and unresolved trauma may be manifesting in deeply unsettling ways. Could she be experiencing psychological blackouts, drawn unconsciously to the nursery by a primal, maternal instinct she can't control? Is she seeking to connect with a child, any child, to fill the void left by her own losses? Those closest to her, including her ever-protective husband Michael Corinthos and the increasingly watchful Drew Kane, have noted her increasingly erratic behavior. Drew's gentle urgings for her to rest are juxtaposed with a growing sense of unease. He sees a woman on the edge, but he may not yet comprehend the depth of the precipice upon which she stands. This theory gains a painful traction when considering Willow's history. Her journey to motherhood has been a path of thorns, marked by deception, loss, and a desperate search for identity and connection. The idea that her mind, in a state of self-preservation, might be compartmentalizing her pain and leading her to act in ways she can't remember is a classic, tragic soap opera trope. Her potential involvement transforms the storyline from a simple whodunit into a poignant exploration of a woman's breaking point. She is not a villain, but a victim of circumstance, her own mind potentially becoming her greatest enemy. Of course, in Port Charles, no threat to a Corinthos goes unanswered. The security at General Hospital has been ostensibly tightened, but the true protective shield comes from the family itself. The specter of Sonny Corinthos looms large. As the undisputed patriarch, any danger to his grandchild is a declaration of war. His quiet, simmering rage is a promise of swift and brutal retribution for whoever is responsible. The hospital is more than a building. For the Corinthos family, it is a sanctuary, a piece of their territory. This breach is not just a threat to a baby, it is an act of profound disrespect, and Sunny's response is certain to be formidable. Whether the perpetrator is a grieving mother lost in a fog of trauma or a more calculated, external enemy, they have awakened a sleeping giant. The quest to identify the figure in the shadows is not just a matter for hospital security, it has become a personal vendetta for the most powerful family in Port Charles. Part 2. The Congressman's Gambit. Drew Cain's Web of Control. In the swirling chaos of Port Charles, Drew Cain has positioned himself as a figure of strength and stability, a would-be hero rushing to shield those he loves. Yet, beneath this polished veneer lies a far more complex and calculating individual. The video spoilers reveal a man unafraid to play in the moral gray, spinning a sophisticated web of blackmail and control. Drew has emerged as a master manipulator, wielding the deeply personal secrets of others as his tools, all under the guise of protecting his loved ones and his own burgeoning ambitions. His power play is audacious, targeting two of the city's most influential women, Nina Reeves and Dr. Portia Robinson. For Portia, Drew's leverage is a career-ending secret, her illicit tampering with Heather Weber's medical tests. This is not merely a minor ethical lapse, it is a profound professional transgression that could obliterate her reputation and her medical license. In a poignant, quiet moment, Portia is seen staring at her framed medical degree, a symbol of a life dedicated to healing, now a monument to her potential ruin. Drew's knowledge of this secret gives him an iron grip on the respected doctor, forcing her into a position of terrified compliance. The threat hangs heavy over her, straining her already fractured marriage to Curtis Ashford and leaving her isolated in her fear. Drew's control over Portia is a cold, calculated move that transforms her from a respected professional into a pawn in his high-stakes game. His weapon against Nina Reeves is even more intimate and potentially more explosive: the knowledge of their brief, ill-fated affair. This was not just a simple tryst, it was a betrayal that occurred while Drew was simultaneously weaving his charm around Willow, the very woman Nina has fought so desperately to build a relationship with. The revelation of this secret would be a devastating blow to the emotionally vulnerable Willow, potentially shattering the fragile bond with her mother beyond repair. Drew holds this secret like a dagger to the heart of the Corinthos family's delicate peace, ready to use it to ensure Nina's silence and cooperation. What is Drew's ultimate endgame? Is this simply a misguided attempt to protect Willow by neutralizing any perceived threats? Or does it hint at a darker, more consuming ambition? As a man with political aspirations, Drew understands the importance of a pristine public image. By controlling the narratives of those around him, he is effectively clearing the board of any players who could tarnish his reputation or stand in the way of his ascent. His once heroic demeanor is replaced by a calculated ruthlessness, a chilling transformation that suggests his moral compass may be irrevocably broken. However, even the most carefully constructed web can begin to fray. The crushing pressure Drew is exerting is pushing Nina and Portia toward a breaking point. Through furtive glances across crowded rooms and hushed, desperate phone calls, the seeds of rebellion are being sown. A palpable undercurrent of defiance is building as they grapple with the indignity of being pawns. The whispered sentiment, "Enough is enough," hints at the formation of an unlikely and dangerous alliance. They may be forced to choose between ruination at Drew's hand or a desperate, defiant act that could topple his empire of schemes, with no way to predict the collateral damage. Part 3. Fractured Loyalties and Lingering Ghosts. The fallout from Drew Cain's actions ripples outward, touching lives and fracturing relationships far beyond his immediate targets. Trina Robinson, a young woman defined by her fiery spirit and unwavering sense of justice, is shown to be incandescent with rage. Her fury is a direct consequence of Drew's latest misstep, a failed surgery that crushed young Kai Taylor's dreams of returning to the football field. For Trina, this is more than just a medical error. It's a profound injustice that has deeply wounded her community and, by extension, her own family. Venting to her confidant Jocelyn Jacks over milkshakes at a local diner, Trina unloads the full weight of her frustration. She sees Drew's promises, perhaps made with good intentions, as a trail of disappointment and broken lives. Her anger is not just for Kai, but for the devastating impact it has on her mother, Portia, whose own professional life is now in jeopardy, and on Curtis, who is caught in the emotional crossfire. Trina's fury is a potent force, and her determination to see justice done suggests she may become a significant obstacle to Drew's plans, unafraid to confront him head-on. Elsewhere, other relationships are being tested by the ghosts of the past. Police Commissioner Jordan Ashford, a woman accustomed to control, finds her personal life in turmoil. In a quiet, vulnerable moment by the picturesque Metro Court pool, she confesses her struggles to her trusted friend, Anna Devane. The cracks in her past union with Curtis, widened by recent crises, have left her in a confusing emotional space. She is torn between a lingering longing for the man she once loved and the ethical minefield of pursuing someone still bound by vows to another woman. Anna, with her seasoned perspective on love's myriad complications, gently challenges Jordan to examine her true desires. Is a potential reunion with Curtis worth the chaos it would unleash, especially for Portia, a woman already battling her own professional and personal storms? This theme of lingering connections is echoed in a cozy bar, where new bonds are forged over old heartaches. Isaiah Gannon and Lulu Spencer are seen sharing drinks, finding solace in their mutual ache for the presence of the enigmatic Lucky Spencer. Over glasses of amber whiskey, they swap stories of romantic missteps and the void left by Lucky's absence. Their shared laughter, tinged with a deep-seated melancholy, hints at a burgeoning friendship, or perhaps something more. This unexpected connection, built on the foundations of shared history and grief, could blossom into a significant new relationship, proving that even in a town rife with deceit, genuine connections can still take root in the most unlikely of circumstances. Part 4. The Ticking Time Bomb, Nina's Impossible Choice. At the epicenter of this emotional earthquake stands Nina Reeves, a woman haunted by a secret that weighs heavier with each passing day. Pacing the elegant confines of her lavish penthouse, with the city lights of Port Charles flickering like distant, mocking stars, she is tormented by an impossible choice. Her brief, ill-fated tryst with Drew Quartermaine, a fling that unfolded covertly while he was winning the heart of her daughter, remains a buried thorn in her conscience. This hidden chapter of deceit is not just a personal failing, it has become a ticking time bomb that could expose Drew's two-faced nature, a duplicity of which Willow remains blissfully unaware. This dilemma is compounded by Nina's painful and complicated history. Her life has been a relentless pursuit of the motherhood that was stolen from her. After years of estrangement and misunderstanding, she has only just begun to build a fragile, hard-won connection with Willow. The recent heartbreak of watching Willow lose custody of her own children to Michael only deepens Nina's anguish and heightens the stakes. The thought of missing out on her grandchildren's milestones, first words, birthdays, school plays, gnaws at her, painting a future of estrangement that stretches bleakly before her. Confessing the truth about her past liaison with Drew might be her only weapon to sever his hold on Willow, but the risk is palpable. Such a revelation could detonate the illusion of trust that Willow has painstakingly placed in the man she loves. The potential outcomes of Nina's decision are as varied as they are monumental, with each path fraught with peril and possibility. If she gathers the courage to lay bare the truth, she could push her already fragile daughter into a raw, tear-stained confrontation, forcing Willow to see Drew's betrayal in a stark, unforgiving light. This could, in turn, bolster Willow's case for visitation or even full custody by demonstrating to the court that she has distanced herself from toxic influences. However, the flip side is just as devastating. Willow, already battered by life's blows, might direct her pain at Nina, shutting her out completely. This scenario becomes even more likely with Carly Spencer lurking in the wings, ever the opportunist ready to fan the flames of discord for her own gain. On the other hand, if Nina opts for silence, Drew's unchecked influence might further erode Willow's legal standing, dragging her deeper into a mire of poor decisions while Nina watches helplessly, consumed by regret. The pressure is compounded by the looming presence of Jason Morgan, whose protective instincts toward Willow are sharpened by his clear disdain for Drew's recent actions. His influence could either embolden Nina to speak out or deter her, fearing his involvement might escalate the conflict beyond repair. Every sleepless night brings Nina closer to a decision, but the fear of Willow's rejection casts a long, paralyzing shadow over her resolve. Conclusion: the intricate tapestry of life in Port Charles is threatening to unravel. The heart of the town beats with uncertainty as its residents stand on the edge of a precipice. The choices these women, Nina, Portia, Willow, and Trina, are poised to make will send shockwaves through their lives and beyond. Will they bow to the weight of blackmail, preserving what little stability they cling to, or will they risk personal and professional ruin to break free from suffocating control? The mounting frustration is a volcano waiting to erupt, with every conversation and every sidelong glance shaping the battlefield. The next chapter of this gripping tale is sure to leave us all breathless with anticipation as we watch to see whether defiance or submission will define their paths, and whether a manipulative man's reign will endure or crumble under the weight of his own ambition. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.